Welcome back to the show. Tua got a new deal, 4 years, $212 million with $167 million guaranteed. Here he is at the podium and with some fans. Take a listen.
Now that all of this is done, this is behind us. We know, like, heavy is the crown, you know. So whoever's wearing that, like, right now, I'm the highest paid employee in this office.
I tell you what, show me the money!
I like that. Was paying Tua the right decision? Yeah, but come on, that was great.
Listen, that was great, and everybody, I think it's cool. Tua quoted a movie that came out before he was born. I mean, it's just like it shows a real range. Brew, you weren't here last week. Wilds went to the mattresses for Tua.
He's going to do it again. Yeah.
He thought it was. He thought I was being very unfair by saying in order to prove this decision right, he's going to have to beat the Buffalo Bills at some point. He's like, beating the Bills is hard. Don't hold that against him.
No, I was saying beating the Chiefs.
How about in Buffalo?
So here, listen.
Chilly.
Tua's 11-0 against New England and the Jets, and he's 1-6 against Buffalo. Against New England and the Jets, he has a 96-ish rating. Against Buffalo, he has 77. The reason I'm bringing that up is the only way this contract ages well is if he is battling Josh Allen year to year for quarterback supremacy in that division. That's the only way. I don't think it's realistic. I think that they paid a above-average player like he's a great player and now capped themselves, and they're going to lose the talent that makes him look great. So it's not. I don't think it's the right decision, but it's a mistake a lot of teams make because they're terrified at spinning the wheel at quarterback.
Coach, I've been saying ever since this became a conversation, wait. Like, and I say that I understand if you've got your guy, it's better to pay him early because the cost isn't going down. And if he if this year he plays as well or better as he did last year and they beat some playoff teams, they win a couple cold weather games, I know I'm asking a lot. But then the contract will be good because eventually he'll be maybe underpaid. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. But I, Coach, would want to – I'm just like, he's been healthy 1 out of 4 years. I would just want one more season, this season, where he plays 16 or 17 games, obviously plays well. And then if I have to pay a little more, I'm willing to do that to have that certainty about a guy. And also I think, he doesn't look great off schedule. He's not incredibly athletic. He's obviously small and injury prone. So you got a lot of that working against him too.
Well, when you talk about the injury prone part, that's a scary thing to me. It's a concussion issue. And look, it's different than Burrow. You can get hit. He has a concussion. He may be done not just in the season. Those were serious. He could be done, forever, unfortunately. And really, the deal is a 3-year deal. They can get out after 3 years. But Tua, when you look at his season last year, he was like the anti-Jordan Love. So they lost 3 out of the last 5 games. They ended up losing the division. He threw the 4th most interceptions. He threw 5 picks in the last 3 games. His last 3 quarterback ratings were 72, 62, and 64 in the playoffs. So when it meant the most for them, different than Jordan Love, he didn't really perform. And that, to me, would have, kind of like you, would have made me think, okay, we've got the concussion issue, and we've got this performance down the stretch that wasn't very good. Why don't we wait and see if we
you got 2 years of maybe
year to year on him?
All right, but most importantly, Kevin. No. Kevin Wilds this morning.
Not a bad take.
Kevin Wilds this morning on the call said, and I quote.
Not a bad take.
This weekend, I realized what I should have said during the Tua conversation.
Yeah, but I didn't realize I didn't.
Yeah, well, now luckily, go ahead. Now you get to do it.
Because you guys were because Coach came with specifics that he trailed off at the end of the season.
That's what I told you, Wilds. I told you at the end of the
season. They got a little
chilly.
Yeah, they played good
Buffalo,
teams.
Kansas City.
Okay, yeah, Baltimore
and it was
Buffalo
a little chilly.
Yeah,
so
what was the thing that you realized over the weekend you should have said?
Because you guys keep ripping Tua like he stinks.
No.
And I said, and he can't. Gosh darn it. Tua puts up top 5 numbers. That's all I'm going to say. Did he trail off at the end of the year? Yes. So in 2022, the guy played well, and he was hurt. He missed those 4 games. But guess what?
I agree.
He played well. The one thing that wasn't great was his completion percentage. Then you look at last year, the dude is top 5 in everything. And I know it's taboo to say he's a top 5 quarterback, which he might not be. But when you look at the numbers, he's a top 5 quarterback. He threw for the most yards. He lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs when it was freezing cold.
But
Guess what? Every quarterback in the NFL would have lost that game.
But he
Every
only had
quarterback
to
would have-
play that game because he collapsed.
It is
the
what it
previous
is.
2 weeks.
They lost a few games at the end of the season.
And top 5 highest paid receiving core.
Yeah.
The best receiving core in the league.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so what do you want him to do? So
Listen, Wild is
we can't do that all the time. We can't. Every time a quarterback plays well, like, oh, he's got great receivers.
We
can't do
I
it.
agree. It's
We
not fair to
can
Purdy, but I think in this situation, I just don't see. I see more from Purdy.
That's fine, but it is our job to contextualize. It is. That is literally our job.
No, we're not contextualizing. We're dismissing.
Wild.
That's the issue.
Wilds. The issue is the issue is on Friday when I said, "Hey, who do you think the 5 best quarterbacks in the AFC are?" You listed 5 before we got to Tua.
That's right.
And now you're saying, "But wait, look." We can say he's a top 5 guy, but you don't even think he's top 5
I don't
in
think.
his
Here's the weird
conference.
thing. I don't think he's a top 5 guy, but he plays like a top 5 guy.
Okay, well, then
so
it's a
we're
good contract.
jammed up.
Okay.
He might not be a top 5 guy, but he's top 5 in all the categories that make up being a top 5 guy.
You agree with us, myself and Coach. Why rush when he's got the injury? You got 2 franchise tags you could use on him.
I agree.
I mean, not that you got to drag it out
train
that
is
far,
up the
but
station.
you got time.
The other question is, can a pocket passer, a pure pocket passer, thrive?
Yeah, Joe
all those other guys. Joe Burrow's not.
First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Live from New York. It's a show that's already thinking about Belichick to the Giants. Season hasn't even started. What? I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, Belichick and Dak to the Giants.
I don't like Dak.
Package
I don't
deal
like Dak.
Is something I said 6 months ago, and it's going to happen. It's going to be the ultimate classic 2.
I don't like Dak.
Well, okay.
I mean, I like Dak. I don't like Dak.
You literally just said I don't like Dak 6 times in a row.
I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad.
Oh my God, this guy
Daniel
loves,
Jones can play a little bit.
This guy
I guess
loves
you spent a week with Greg.
mediocre quarterbacks the way most people love their
Watch
children.
some Giants footage. Got some weapons?
I have, Wild.
No, training camp
He
footage.
can run. He's a good runner.
Exactly.
He's tough.
Today, a late draft pick who just continues to win when teamed up with a brilliant coach. Brady, Purdy, you decide. The new quote from Brock Purdy that will shock you, to be honest with you. Meanwhile, Dak has offered a new deal, but no movement yet. We try to make sense of what Dak really wants. Maybe he wants to leave. But right now, we're going to talk about Mahomes' deal. Quarterback contracts keep going up. Trevor got a new deal. Tua got a new deal. Jordan Love got a new deal. Meanwhile, best quarterback playing, sitting back watching it all happen. Here's Mahomes to Jarrett Bell of USA Today. Every time a contract comes up, everybody looks at my average per year and everything like that. I'm doing pretty well myself. I think we do a great job at managing my money to be able to pay me a lot and keep a good team around me. Pretty much the ultimate team guy. Yeah. How underpaid is Mahomes, Nick?
All right, so Mahomes' contract is one of the most misunderstood contracts in all of sports. So first, let me say this on the front end. If he wanted to, he could hold out every year. Every single year before training camp started, he could be like, "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm not showing up until I am the high. Who makes the most this year? All right, I want $1 more," and the team would have no choice but to give it to him. Yeah. And it would, by the way, still be a huge bargain.
Right.
The gap between him and whomever the second best player in the league is all-pro wide receiver. So that's $30 million. He makes up that difference. And so it is to the Chiefs' benefit that he does not act like that. And by the way, the players who have been in that position prior to him didn't act like that either. There was a time when Aaron could have done that, when Tom could have done that, Peyton could have done that. None of them did it, where they literally every year was like, you have to pay me more, you have to pay me more. But the reason I said Patrick's contract is misunderstood is everyone focuses on the $45 million a year. But because it's a 10-year deal, they move the money around at will, which is why I will give Florio, my friend, media ombudsman, also means at times I have to give credit, Florio for pointing out this fact. From 2023 to 2026, cash in pocket, who's got the best? Patrick. All right, so and by the way, keep in mind, you see Daniel Jones on there, that's assuming you get all 4 of those years, right? So then let's start this year for the next 4 years, moving forward. With all these new deals that came in, it's still Patrick. because the Chiefs did adjust it last year. So I think him being just slightly the highest paid is wildly underpaid, but it is not accurate to say he's, 14th in the league, because they have moved a lot of the money up, and they're never going to make him play for $20 million at the end of the deal. So does that?
So what happens at the end of the deal?
Well, right now at the end of the deal, he would be averaging probably like $28 million. But you know what they'll do?
Don't forget to subscribe.